Oh yeah, thank you. We would like to begin tonight by acknowledging the land on which we gather is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. For thousands of years, Indigenous peoples inhabited and cared for this land and continue to do so today. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Ojibwe and Chippewa peoples, the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississauga of the Credit. We're so grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land, and by doing so, give our respect to its first inhabitants.
Our mission is to challenge and equip youth to positively influence their world.
For 23 years, that's what we've been doing, making a direct and personal impact on youth through mentorship and leadership development.
That's our passion. That's our forward vision.
Welcome to our Forward Vision event. Let me start by saying thank you. Thank you for being here. Because here's the thing, you're joining us on a really special night. This is our very first in-person fundraiser event. So thank you. It means the world to us that you've shown up here tonight. Thank you. Next, I'd like to draw your attention. When you came into the auditorium this evening, you were handed a brochure. Now within that brochure, you can flip through it now or you can take it home and read through it. But there's a whole bunch of information on who we are as an organization and the programs that we offer. Further, in it, we share about our excitement for the future. Because on the horizon for Global 180 is a dream of expansion. Tonight, we get to share that dream with you. Because as an organization, we have the ability to bring hope to the places where we serve. You're going to have an opportunity to hear about that hope tonight through the stories that our youth share, both in person and through video. Further, on this very stage in the matter of a few minutes, we are all going to have the privilege of being entertained by the one, the only, Michael C. Anthony. Now, in his performance, he will create an environment of mystery. He will successfully use deception to trick you into believing that you are seeing something that you're not. And this might create in you a level of confusion. It might even leave you feeling like you're in the dark. Would you all join me in welcoming back to the stage our founder, our executive director, Mr. Eldon Wright.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Kristen. It's so good to see all of you here. Thank you so much for coming. As Kristen said, it's our first time doing something like this. We appreciate your effort in coming tonight. Special word of welcome to City Councillor Martin Reid from Ward 9 here in Meadowvale. We're honored to have you join us tonight. Yes. The world of adolescence is simply a mystery that most adults just don't relate to. Well, I'm a youth worker, and this is a lifelong calling that has directed both Jackie and me for the last 40 years. And over those 40 years, so much has changed in the world. Some changes are incredibly positive, as youth today have opportunities like youth have never had before. However, some societal realities aren't so positive, causing youth to struggle with identity, deal with hurt, face mental health concerns as much or more than any youth have ever experienced before. Global 180 works really hard to ensure that we have a good understanding of the world where youth live. We have an illusionist here tonight, not only to provide amazing entertainment, but to highlight the reality of where youth live. Too many youth are sucked into believing lies about themselves. They're simply not true. Or they buy into the deception of thinking that they'll find happiness, security, or success in things that just aren't real. Global 180 tries to make every effort to help them make decisions based on truth. As much as the world around them is continuously changing, youth themselves aren't that much different. Like all generations who've gone on before them, there's a season of time when youth are trying to make a break, to gain independence from parents and from home, to find their own way, working through the confusion of their adolescent years. This is where Global 180 comes in. We look for ways to stand in that gap, to be there for youth. Besides their parents, family members, teachers, we want to be trusted adults who care and are willing to be mentors, to bring some peace into the turmoil that's inside them. We've always been about showing youth that no matter how much darkness seems to envelop them, there is hope and there is light. For those of you who are receiving an initial introduction to Global 180 tonight, I'll provide a very brief history lesson. 25 years ago, the vision for Global 180 began in the small northern European nation of Estonia. Now, if you don't know where that is, I didn't either until I was on an airplane flying to Finland when I took out the map in front of me and looked to see where Estonia was. Sad that I was going there not knowing where I was going. Estonia was a former Soviet country trying to get back on its own feet. I had witnessed the hopelessness of Estonian youth and decided we'd try to do what we could to encourage the next generation, to grow up to be people of strong character, choosing to live with purpose and meaningful values. So in 1999, we took teams of Canadian high school students to Estonian schools to conduct assembly presentations with our youth speaking to their peers about their own personal life experiences and offering some hope and encouragement that they could turn their world around, beginning with themselves, their friends, homes, schools, community, and ultimately their country. In those schools, we would invite all youth, giving free tickets to a community-wide party event on the weekend. We had no idea what to expect, but we would see anywhere between 600 and 1,800 youth come to these big party events. They were designed for youth to have an amazing time with no alcohol, no drugs, while we reinforced the messages shared in their schools and connected them to local youth workers. We conducted similar initiatives in Poland and Ukraine until 2008. I'd like to introduce to you tonight Aaron Williams, who as a teenager was part of these Eastern European initiatives.
Thank you, Eldon, and thank you all so much for being here tonight. You know, when I first met Eldon, I was about 16-ish years old, and a group had just come back from Poland, and they were sharing their experiences about their trip. And later, after that event, I had a chance to speak with Eldon one-on-one about my own struggles and what I was dealing with. And what I remember from that conversation wasn't so much about what he said, but that I felt safe, I felt seen, and I felt heard. Fast forward now a year, it's February 2003, I'm 17 years old, heading to Poland on my very first Global 180 trip. And to say that my life was dramatically changed is an understatement, because I went back the year after, and the year after that, and the year after that, and maybe two more, I think. So to say I was hooked is also an understatement. But to be able to have conversations with the youth on the other side of the world about their own struggles, their hopes, their dreams, their desires, their wishes for their own future, to be able to encourage them and to try to leave them with a little bit of extra hope is something that I will never take lightly. It's an experience that I will never forget. And to show them too that youth on the other side of the world have lives very similar to theirs, I think that helped them a lot. And it helped me in my 17-year-old world put my own first world problems into perspective. My experiences with Global 180 over all of those trips, I can safely say has definitely shaped who I am today, because there's nothing quite like traveling across the world with 20 people you barely know with a shared cause. You know, you're traveling by trains and planes and cars and buses and a whole lot of walking over cobblestone. You're living in tiny quarters, eating foods that you cannot pronounce or ever remember the names to, but taste oh so good. You know, you're trying to figure out how to communicate with people when your translators aren't around. And that teaches you to be resourceful. It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to lead and also how to be led. So when Eldon asked me over 10 years ago now, aging myself, to consider being part of the Global 180 board, it was a no-brainer for me. Because if we could have the same impact here that we did there, but more so, it was something that I definitely wanted to be a part of. Because as an adult now, I know more than ever, youth today need to feel the same things I felt 20 some odd years ago, which was to be seen, to be heard, and to be safe. And we have the opportunity to do that with Global 180. So I want to thank you all again for coming. I hope that when you leave tonight, you leave with a greater understanding of the impact that Global 180 has had over its years of existence and what it can continue to do in the future. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. Thank you so much. And I know there's a few others in this crowd tonight who were part of those trips early on, so thank you for helping establish what we have today. From 2006 to 2018, Global 180 had a presence in Beijing, China, where our professional staff worked with the Red Cross during the Sichuan earthquake, and for 12 years with local schools and youth organizations. In 2011, after much research with city councilors, school administrators, and others right here in Mississauga, we discovered that in our city, there were programming options for children and for high school students, but not much focus was given to the middle school age group. And after 13 years, unfortunately, nothing much has changed. There still is not adequate focus or funding for accessible programming for youth in this area. However, along with a few other youth organizations in the city, including the DAM, who is being represented here tonight, thank you for being here, we're thrilled to continue to do what we do for this age demographic. And you're going to get a taste of that tonight. You're going to hear from some wonderful human beings. They're going to express how Global 180 has been a help, a support, and encouragement to them. But let me be honest, they have as much impact on us as we have on them. I want to say a huge thank you to my friend Michael C. Anthony, who believes in our work and was willing to give his time to come to entertain us tonight. You're about to be exposed to the world that we work in every day, so welcome to our world, the world of Global 180. Here's a glimpse into one of our major middle school programs, 180 Fuse.
We asked some youth why they enjoy 180 Fuse.
And what they love about it. Here's what they had to say.
I like that they teach lessons and also make it fun at the same time.
I come because I can spend time with my friends without using cell phones that much, and we can be laughing and
because you get to be with your friends and have fun.
Being here with friends.
I like that there's many activities, like for example in break time we can make bracelets and all that stuff, and I like that there's many fun stuff to do.
I was hoping to make more friends and to basically just have a lot of fun.
It's basically a free post where your friends can hang out, so you don't have to pay for the arcade or anything. You could pull your friends out of their houses, you could pull yourself out of the house.
The events, the games, the food, the party, everything.
My favorite part of the night is being with my friends and all the cool lights around.
It's my first time. I have to try something new.
I think it's a very engaging time to spend with people that we don't know or people that we know. So that's a very creative way to spend our time too.
It's very enjoyable and can bring a lot of people together to have a lot of fun.
And the games, that's my favorite part. Pretty much all of it.
I like how it's in the evening and how we get to meet all our friends and play fun games.
All the night is the best part. You always be with your friends louding and just chilling there.
I like 180 Fuse because it's a way to get out of my house on Fridays instead of playing video games.
Because sometimes my friends are too distant and I cannot meet them. So I come here to meet my friends and have fun, yeah.
How I get to spend time with my friends.
Well, it's the thing I look forward to every month or every 2 months. On this Friday, I'm oh yay, it's finally happening again.
Thank you, 180 Fuse employees. You made this really fun. This is very enjoyable. You made us lots of friends, and it was really fun for all of us, and it helped us with our problems in our lives, and thank you. Thank you, 180 Fuse.
We asked the youth to describe Global 180 in one word.
Amazing.
Epic.
Amazing. Awesome.
Amazing.
Fun.
Fun.
It's amazing.
Fun?
I think amazing.
Exciting.
Awesome.
Epic.
Mind-blowing.
Fun.
Fun or exciting.
Fun.
Amazing.
Exciting.
Fun.
Crazy.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Exciting.
Fun.
Explosion of fun.
Amazing.
Exciting. Extreme.
Happiness.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Bell. I'm a high school volunteer. I've been a part of Global 180 for 5 years. With Global 180, I've found my sense of community and I've been able to connect with the staff. From all the events that I've been at, I felt accepted and included in every way, from when I was a student to being a high school volunteer. I always felt that the staff were connecting to the students, high school volunteers, and young adult volunteers. They support me in many ways, like asking me about how my day was at school, or taking me out to coffee, or to coming to my extracurricular events.
Hello, I'm Rowan. When I was in middle school, my struggles with mental health began and only began to intensify. I had always been treated differently because of it, especially because I had ADHD and simply didn't know it at the time. I struggled making connections, making friends, and generally speaking. I started attending 180 Fuse events at Dolphin in grade 6, which at the time took every bit of bravery I had within myself to do. Attending those events as a middle schooler and being part of 180 Lift was one of the first and only times I ever felt truly comfortable and like I fit in my own school. Now, I myself have the privilege of being a volunteer to help create that experience and sense of belonging for someone else who really needs it. I've made many decisions in my life, but without a doubt, these are some of the best decisions I've ever made.
Hey, I'm Sammy, and I just wrapped up my first year of university. I came to Canada about 8 years ago, and ever since then, Global 180 as an organization has been a guiding force in my life. Through middle school, I attended the 180 Fuse program for most of my time, and then in the 8th grade, I was invited to join the 180 Lift program, which taught me many important skills about leadership and being a good team member. After I moved on to high school, I was able to work with Global 180 as a volunteer for their 180 Fuse program, which was once again fantastic for developing my skills as a team member and being able to guide the youth that I had just attended school with years prior. And even now, as a university student, having moved on from my official position as a volunteer with 180 Fuse, the team at Global 180 have been wonderful in reaching out to me and offering their help in any way they can, even though I'm technically no longer affiliated. So I've been very appreciative of that.
Hey, I'm Sam, and for me, I joined the Global 180 community as an overlooked and unrepresented grade 6 student. Shortly after, the pandemic unfortunately hit, and I found myself with struggling mental health and also just ending grade 7, going into grade 8. So with that, I started to attend the virtual program on YouTube and Zoom, and I found something that I could be a part of, somewhere where my voice was heard and I could be represented. Fast forward to the day where I'm now helping co-host our virtual events along with volunteering at the in-person middle schools. It's because of Global 180 and my involvement with them that over the past 5 years, my confidence has grown and I feel I have found a community and family that sees me and accepts me for who I am. Global 180 does that. They recognize people of all minorities and backgrounds, and the staff ensures everybody feels accepted and a part of their community and family. I'm thankful that I now get to do what they do now and help other middle schoolers feel the same way I did.
At Global 180, we as staff have a unique opportunity to be the ones who design and implement programs and work face-to-face with hundreds of youth, and then ask them, how can we make these programs better? I've always loved how we evolve as an organization as the needs of youth change.
I feel so privileged that I've had the opportunity to be part of that change, to work with Eldon and Global 180 for over 13 years now. Since I was a teenager myself, I've always had this passion to work with youth, to see youth thrive, to help them find hope and their way in this world, to know that they don't have to do life alone.
I love the fact that we go to their level and play board games with them, or basketball, or video games. We actually get to build relationships, and then through that comes the opportunity to support them and encourage them throughout their teen years.
Global 180 empowers people, helping students grow into leaders. As a youth, I didn't have the opportunity for a group of mentors to pour into me. At the time, I did not see how vital it was to my development and maturity into adulthood.
For me, I had people in my life who offered mentorship as a teenager. People who were there when they didn't have to be. They just wanted to be a positive influence and help me grow. And that's what I'm grateful to do today with any youth who are in or even around our programs. I just want to see youth feel valued and thrive.
That's what we get to do at Global 180. Within my role, I've been given the responsibility to expand to 2 new schools. So far in 2024, we've launched at Thomas Street Middle School. I remember as I was looking at the students in the gym, I thought about the privilege I have to make a difference, to be a mentor in their lives that I longed for when I was their age. Global 180 empowers the next generation to impact their world.
For me, that's the big picture. Within Global 180, we have the unique opportunity to be present in the life of a youth, from the time they're in grade 6 through to their years in university, and then hopefully even beyond. We get to be present, consistent, and communicate to youth that we will be here. Through the best and the worst that adolescents can bring them, we get to be present. We get to be present in their schools, their community centers, their mall, their online world. We get to be a light, showing them that there is a way through and that they were made for a purpose.
At Global 180, our goal is to bring light to the darkness.
Since 2011, Global 180 has had a strong presence in the Mississauga community.
Over the course of these 13 years, we have run 4 distinct programs.
And we've had the opportunity to impact thousands of youth from all backgrounds.
At 180 Fuse, we've created a fun, safe, social recreation program designed for middle school-aged youth. We play big group games, give youth an opportunity to connect, and facilitate uplifting team discussions.
Being part of Global 180 has helped me find a purpose and given me something to look forward to.
My favorite thing about Global 180 is it's easily accessible and inclusive. I really enjoy how there are online and in-person events that are all free and easy to attend. Global 180 also makes everyone feel welcome and safe by ensuring that each student never feels alone and that each person is engaged at all times.
It's a good cause, and I've seen the benefits as somebody who's been volunteered, and I went in person before COVID, and then I helped during COVID, and then I also did post-COVID, and so I could actually, I get all the different perspectives because I've been through all of them. And as a middle schooler, I had so much fun going, and it was always the highlight of my month going. And then once I got to do a little more of the behind the scenes aspect of it, I could see that they put so much effort into what they produce and what they give to the youth that it's I respect it now. And now that I see that when I was a middle schooler, they're still doing the same things, it's still nice to see that they put so much effort in.
At 180 Merge, we offered high school-aged youth a free after-school drop-in program where they could take part in the leadership team, as well as play games and spend time with friends.
I think at 180 Merge, the biggest thing that encouraged me was the volunteering team. And being a part of that community, I felt so welcomed, and it taught me a bunch of valuable life lessons and skills for when I go into the real world.
180 Merge is a really safe space to learn a lot of different people's personalities, and you can make a lot of friends just at 180 Merge, I'd say. Its environment is extremely friendly, and in fact, at 180 Merge, I've met one of my best friends.
At 180 Lift, we offer grade 8 youth an 18-week leadership training and mentoring program right in their school at lunchtime. We discuss topics such as goal setting, character development, social media, and more.
I like 180 Lift because it really built up my confidence, meeting new people, learning how to become a good leader, and just you can use that a lot in the future.
In 180 Lift, Brooker showed us a picture of a guardrail that helps cars, kind of guide them and keep them safe if they take a wrong turn. So I feel that taught us how to be a guide and a guard for someone else if they're in a tough situation. Global 180 has given me guidance on how to be a leader and how to improve myself.
At 180 Fuse Live, Global 180 staff and youth host entertaining and engaging segments on YouTube and Zoom for youth in grades 6 to 8.
One of the 180 Fuse Live events were really good because during COVID, we didn't have anything else to do. We couldn't go out anywhere, we couldn't socialize, so it kind of brought us all together again like it was in person, but virtually. So, and we still had the same thing, the same concepts where we could win prizes, we could play games, and it was just a blast. I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure a lot of other people did.
There are countless interactions with the team that I have that have encouraged me and uplifted me. Just simple compliments that acknowledge my hard work is enough to brighten my week. However, a specific time would be when I was asked to be the co-host for 180 Fuse's live event. That helped me gain stage presence and really helped bring out my confidence. I am so thankful for that experience. During COVID and the 180 Fuse live events, that really helped students who were maybe more shy and that didn't like to go to the events in person. It brought together a lot more people during a time where we were all separated, which really impacted the youth.
Years, Global 180 has had the privilege of connecting with thousands of youth. Tonight, I have the incredible privilege of introducing two very important people to the Global 180 family. First, you're going to have an opportunity to hear from Kira. Now let me tell you, Kira was actually a young grade 6 student who was at our very first 180 Fuse event when we launched back in 2011 at Dolphin Senior Public School. Since then, we've had the opportunity to watch Kira grow into the incredibly talented young woman that she is today. Following Kira, you're going to hear from Miss Christine Roy. Christine is actually the principal at Erin Mills Middle School, which is one of the schools that Global 180 serves at, and we've been there since 2012. Global 180 has had the success that we've had because of the opportunities we've had to partner with schools and administrators like Christine. And let me tell you, Christine is none like any I have ever seen before. So would you join me in welcoming Kira, who's going to speak first.
Hi everyone, good evening, and Kristen, thank you so much for the kind words. To begin, I really want to start by expressing my overwhelming gratitude to not just the Global 180 program and organization, but specifically to Kristen and Eldon. You both have been so instrumental in my growth and my development as a person, an individual, a leader, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your ongoing, continuing support and guidance. So as Kristen mentioned, their story for Global 180 started back in 1999, but my story with them happened at the beginning of 2011 when I was a little grade 6 student back at the first 180 Fuse event at Dolphin Senior Public School. Entering a brand new school, the daunting world of middle school, as a little 10-year-old, I was very scared, very overwhelmed. But then the Fuse happened, and I remember Kristen coming into our classrooms and saying, if you guys come to Fuse, we'll give you a big pizza party, and it'll be so much fun. It'll be lots of candy and games. It'll be a great time. And honestly, it was. So very quickly, it became my favorite Saturday every single month going to a Fuse event. I very easily began to make friends, we played really fun games, and boy did I go wild at the snack shack. It was the best time. At the events, not only did I have a lot of fun, but I was also able to develop connections with the volunteers and the amazing staff. And one of their goals was really to develop these strong relationships with the students, helping us build our confidence, learn essential values, and really learn how to lean into our own strengths and navigate life as middle schoolers and preteens. For example, when I was in grade 8, I was really struggling with the decision as to whether I should go to my local high school or if I should go to the Cawthor Park Regional Arts School. And shout out to Cawthor, woo! So if it weren't for the support of the Global 180 family, then I really wouldn't have had the confidence I needed to audition for the music program. I am very, very grateful that I did because I had an amazing 4 years at high school and there were so many wonderful learning opportunities that I had while I was there. Back to grade 8. So before I finished grade 8, because I love Fuse so much and everyone who was there and involved, I remember that I was begging Kristen and Eldon to let me help out at the Snack Shack and somehow finagling my way to stay late after events to help clean up, put things away, and take on more of a leadership position. Naturally, when I started high school, I ended up on the youth council and consistently volunteering for 180 Fuse. As a leader on the youth council, it was my responsibility to work with a team of other high school students, as well, of course, as with Kristen, Brooker, and Eldon, to organize, plan, and run all of the 180 Fuse events that were happening at Dolphin, and then eventually at Erin Mills as well. My role as a volunteer is I really wanted to take on the role that the volunteers had taken on with me when I was a student. And I wanted to develop those relationships with the students, so encouraging positive thinking and physical activity, as well as building up their confidence, their community, their active listening skills, their critical thinking, and instilling these values in them while still reducing risk-taking behaviors. Other responsibilities I had as a volunteer was to really focus on the snack vending, because I love Snack Shack. So I really like to work with the financial transactions at events, as well as dealing with the monies in and out while I was at events, what specific snacks we'd given out, what we still had retained for the next event, and moving so on and so forth. All of these roles and responsibilities as a volunteer really helped build my confidence in public speaking, being in front of a group, and working with my community and youth in particular. This passion for working with the community, as well as my interest in healthcare and biology, led me to pursue a career in medicine. Before getting there, of course, I had to do an undergraduate degree, and I decided that I wanted my undergrad to really focus on, of course, getting the classic sciences, biology, chemistry, other courses you need before medical school, but I really wanted to do something that I thought was just super cool, so I did my undergrad in forensic science. And as many of you know, and I'm sure you've watched CSI, Criminal Minds, Bones, all of those good fun forensic shows, it is a very team-oriented field. You are always working with other people, you are always in a group, whether it's at crime scenes, whether it's in the court, it's continuously working with other individuals. As such, I honestly felt very at home with the hands-on experiential learning opportunities I had in my program because of everything I'd learned and done through my time with G180. Additionally, I then took on a role as acting president of the Forensic Science Society in my final 2 years at Trent. In this capacity, I ran over 40 events, many of which had over 250 individuals in attendance, including students, staff, faculty at Trent, as well as many members of the forensic science field and community. Having all of these skills in my back pocket from G180, it really felt like taking on this role was a natural progression for me. Finishing up my undergrad, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I wanted more schooling, and I decided to look into master's programs. So for a master's program, I really wanted something that would help continue to build up my skill set and allow me to pursue my career in medicine. And so I ended up focusing on anatomical health sciences fields. So I'm very proud to say, as of last December, I have successfully completed my Master's of Science in Anatomical Sciences at Queen's University. Thank you. At Queen's University. And of course, this program was completely filled with anatomy. It was very hands-on. I was dissecting, I was working with donors, and teaching students in the laboratory. But one of the major things that was part of the program itself was anatomical education. So yes, this was in the lab, but even more than that, it was lecturing, so guest lecturing. So for the past 2 years, I have been very frequently guest lecturing to classrooms full of 200, 300 students at a time in a variety of different anatomical subjects, such as histology, embryology, et cetera, and so on and so forth. And these students have been in their graduate years, as well as the undergraduate levels, from all sorts of programs such as kinesiology, health sciences, life sciences, nursing, etc. At first, this was pretty daunting, right? Standing up in front of 200, 300 people and talking. But thinking back, I was able to take all of those skills that I'd learned and that I developed as a 15-year, I'm going like that, I was about this height, 15-year-old when I was with 180, and I was at the Fuse events, and I would talk in front of about 100 kids and tell them, hey, this is what we're gonna do for this super fun activity, But then more than that, where we would talk about their values and instilling important goals and fulfilling and talking about what their future holds and how they can better themselves, better the community, and learn forward. So those public speaking skills, the communication skills, they all started when I was a high school volunteer back with G180. Honestly, a lot of these leadership and communication skills that I learned as a volunteer have helped me and been essential in my communication and discussion and as my life progresses through all of my education, as well as the non-academic side of my own personal life. And they've been really instrumental in my development and growth as an individual, as a leader, as an educator, and as a future healthcare professional. I am continuing in my journey and my career in medicine, but before I get there, one of the really, really cool things about being part of the Global 180 family is the fact that the support never, ever stops. Ever since I told Kristen back in high school, so grade 10, grade 11, about my goal of becoming a surgeon, she has been one of my biggest cheerleaders. She has always been there for me, rooting me on from the sidelines, and her positivity, her words of encouragement, her enthusiasm for me as being a mentor has always been there. And I am so grateful for her continuous support and encouragement forever. So thank you, Kristen. Over the past number of years, Kristen and I have kept in constant communication. We've gotten together all the time, check-ins, heard about her family, how 180 is doing. I've told her about my life, and her continuing support has been wonderful, along with the rest of the G180 team. So from the bottom of my heart, I can very, very honestly say that without Global 180, and for me in particular, the 180 Fuse program, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be who I am today without their ongoing support of the amazing organization and the even more amazing team members that are there. So thank you so much for doing everything you're doing and continuing to support our community and the youth and students here. Thanks, guys.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christine Roy. I am the very proud principal of Erin Mills Middle School. Woo! Woo! Hey, Emily. We are a very diverse community of learners from grades 6 to 8, and I'm not sure if you know anything about teens and preteens. Every day is a new adventure, so I adore our community, I adore our students, and Global 180 is a big part of our community. I stand before you as a strong advocate for Global 180. This organization has been an immense source of support for our school for quite some time. So they support us in many ways, but two particular programs. Fuse 180 is a social recreational program for grades 6 to 8 on Friday evenings. Yay, Friday evenings. 180 Lift, where they work closely with our grade 8 students on building understanding of their leadership, confidence, and self-awareness. I attend all events, even Friday evenings, and I can't say enough about their organization, their involvement, their leadership, their team building skills, their flexibility, their collaboration. You guys are gonna make me cry now. And mentorship. This program is unique and unlike anything I've ever experienced. Our students look forward to them walking into the building. They look forward to the events. They fill up super fast, and our staff as well. If you get the opportunity to collaborate with this amazing organization, I would not hesitate. As a principal, I am thankful for the support they provide for our entire school, our community, our administration, and our staff and students and their families. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're a rock star. Thank you.
Well, as adults, we muse about the problems that youth face. We're aware of the mountainous challenges that stand in their way of becoming successful in life. We sometimes get upset about our society not giving them their fair chance at a future. We compare how they're so different from when we were at their age. But we can talk, but what do we do about it? Well, as you can see tonight, we're trying to do something about it. Global 180 is active in our community working on these challenges. It would be much easier if we could work some kind of magic to make the challenges disappear. Without magic to rely on, our team needs to work hard. And they do work hard to make a meaningful impact on the youth that we work with. so that youth become healthy, mature agents of change in their world. That's one of the phrases we use all the time. We've been successful in Mississauga and Peel for a number of years, and it's always been part of our philosophy that if something could work in the schools of Mississauga, that could work anywhere in Canada. With the challenges we have in Mississauga and the diversity we have in Mississauga, we've always believed if we could be effective here, we could be effective anywhere. And so our vision going forward is not to build a huge top-down organization, but rather to build expansion networks, taking strategic steps towards taking our program into new communities. What might this look like? Well, you've heard a lot about 180 Fuse. We like to begin by identifying persons and groups in a community who care and have concern for the next generation. We already have some groups that are asking us when we'll consider taking them on as an expansion community, but we're not quite there yet. We need to continue to test our model here in Mississauga. But then secondly, organizing that group of people and training them to begin a Global 180 franchise, doing things the way that we would do them, not doing things the way we don't do them. So it actually operates the same way that we operate. And then taking steps with these new groups to contact their local schools, potential local funders, recruit volunteers, and so on, so that they have a strong, committed, sustainable network and plan. Then we need to equip those new franchises with programming outlines, leadership curriculum, and all that they need to get off the ground. And then we like to connect all these franchises together through our Fuse Live online program every month, so that we have youth can be a part of a bigger network through the online portal. Now, we've begun testing this model already, and Christian mentioned that we brought him on for a 2-year contract with the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and he has already begun a pilot project at Thomas Street Middle School, and in the fall that will go full-time, and then he'll begin a 4th school next year, beginning in 2025. So we're looking to enlarge our base of funding partners. It's part of what we're doing here tonight. We're not here to pressure anybody. We hope that you've been exposed to what we do, that hopefully you have some kind of good impression about what we're doing, but we are looking to enlarge our base of funding partners. As an organization, we've set our fundraising goal for this year at $100,000. We know that's a big number for us, but that will empower us to take the next steps forward to expansion. Toward the end of your brochure that you have tonight, 5 pages from the back, you will find our funding priorities outlined there, and I'll just briefly highlight them for you. Moving towards expansion will require us to do some internal restructuring so we can begin to take steps forward. Raising these funds will increase our capacity to attract new additional funding from a wider variety of sources. We'd like to begin awarding an annual scholarship that will allow us to invest in post-secondary education for one or more of our high school volunteers. And I think you can see that these high school volunteers we have here tonight are amazing, amazing people. These funds will help us to establish a reserve fund to provide more stability in times when we face gaps in funding, such as the COVID days that we went through just recently. And then as we're able, we want to be able to provide a competitive living wage for our amazing staff. And I want to pause right there because bottom line is, without the incredible staff members you've seen here working tonight, we have no programming. Global 180 is nothing without them because they are the essence of who we are. So I'd like to also draw your attention to the financials page in your brochure. We run a very tight financial ship with less than 7% of our funding going to pay administration. And I'm proud to be able to say that more than 93% of all funds contributed go directly to provide programming for local youth. So we're doing all of this so we can impact more youth like these.
I would not be where I am today without Global 180. I started attending 180 Fuse in 2015, almost 10 years ago. My family just moved to Canada recently, and I really struggled to find a community that I kind of belonged to at the time. I had to learn English from scratch, so the language barrier was extremely challenging. And before 180 Fuse, I'm sitting at home on the weekends, like extremely bored, having nothing to do, and here comes 180 Fuse, and it all clicked. I loved the activities. I made friends at my middle school. I connected with staff and eventually joined the youth leadership team in high school. During the pandemic, I helped launch 180 Fuse Live. Now, while university, I assist in co-creating and co-hosting segments for our virtual youth community. The people is what I love the most. From our leadership team to the volunteers to the youth, people are at the heart of this organization. This strong community is the thing I love most. Global 180 was a light for me because I actually wasn't even fluent in English when I first attended Fuse, and fast forward to now where I am competing in international competitions on behalf of Ivy, working at Fortune 500 companies and just living my best life. I attribute a lot of the success to Global 180. The community was there when I needed it most, and it served as a launchpad to propel me to where I am today. I think hope is so powerful, but it is even more impactful when there's a Global 180 helping you reach it.
Global 180 has always felt different to me. The staff are one of a kind. They are some of the best people I've ever gotten the privilege of working alongside, and they are extremely passionate about what they do. Their genuine deepest desire is to help youth realize their full potential. It has provided me with opportunities to develop essential leadership skills, such as communicating, problem solving, and teamwork. The team at Global 180 are some of my biggest cheerleaders. They believe in me, and they make it known, which is really helping me become more confident. I appreciate that Global 180's staff takes time to say hello to each and every student. They greet them as they walk in, they say hello, and they always make sure that they listen intently. Like, students aren't just students to them, like each one of them matters and their stories matter. To me, Global 180 is impactful.
One word that describes Global 180 is supportive.
Family.
Beneficial.
Inclusive.
Community.
Inclusive.
Community.
Community.
Transformational.
Good evening. My name is Chris Emmons, and I'm on the board of Global 180. On behalf of Eldon, the staff, and the board, we want to thank you for taking the time to come and hear the amazing impact Global 180 has had and is having on youth today in Mississauga. The purpose of Forward Vision was to bring awareness to the community of the stories, relationships, and positive influence Global 180 has built throughout the years. You've seen firsthand tonight the benefits when you take time to pour into youth. Tonight, you've seen the exceptional talent of Michael C. Anthony. If you were to see a similar event at a U.S. university, you have paid $75 to $100 per ticket, but Michael believes so much in what Global 180 is doing that he has come from Florida, donated his time and effort for tonight's event. For me personally, I'm an investor. As an investor, you have a number of criteria that have to be met before investing in any company or corporation. Just to name a few in the due diligence process would include having an effective, proven business model, strong core values, integral leadership, a proven long-term strategy for growth, financially responsible, and a uniqueness, in your product and or service. Your goal when choosing such companies is that your investment grows over time. As you witness the benefits, you believe in the investment strategy. Tonight, you've been able to see that Global 180 checks all these boxes and is a healthy, viable, valuable investment in the youth of Mississauga and beyond. While similarly looking at things through an investment lens, tonight our goal as a staff and board is to diversify our funding sources. Though we are extremely grateful for our relations with government and community agencies, we will continue those relationships, but we want to move beyond and partner with willing investors that see the vision of Global 180. My wife Erin and I have had a passion for youth for many years, and we've had the privilege firsthand to witness the benefits Global 180 has had on youth. As a partner, well before I was on the board, Eldon and the staff has always kept us in the loop of how lives are being impacted every day. As you've heard, Eldon has been working with youth for over 40 years. He is an exceptional innovator and has always been on the leading edge of how to impact youth effectively. Have you been impacted by, he has already impacted generations of youth. Maybe you are one of them. Let's help him and his team impact the next generations. I'm here this evening to ask if you would like to become an investor in youth. When we invest, we look at the return on our investment. When you invest in the youth of Global 180, there will be an incredible return that will include, but are not limited to, youth gaining confidence, leadership skills, and improved mental and emotional health. Not only will your return on your investment be great, but you will see compound interest as these youth impacted today impact their communities going forward and tomorrow. I'm here tonight to ask if you will partner with Global 180 to impact youth today. On the back of your program, you will see a QR code, which takes you to Canada Helps. Canada Helps is a registered charity dedicated to increasing charitable giving across Canada. They provide not-profit organizations and open access to affordable, secure online fundraising platform and training so they can better connect with their supporters. Canada Helps issues tax receipts for charitable donations given this evening. The opportunities to donate include making a one-time contribution, signing up to be a monthly donor, donating securities, and also if you have checks, they can be given tonight in the lobby after the program. Please feel free to come and speak with myself or any of our staff and board members if you have any questions or concerns about what you've heard tonight. Thanks for your time.
Okay, I promise you we are wrapping up. As we close tonight, though, I'd like to acknowledge some important people in the audience, everyone, of course. But first of all, current and past partners and donors, thank you for joining us and being committed to the Global 180 journey thus far. You make it possible for us to do what we do, and we appreciate every single dollar that you commit and every single note that you send us and encouragement you give us. I also want to acknowledge our families. You've supported us in a variety of ways for many years, so thank you for continuing to do that and being so committed to what we do. Past members of Global 180 administration and teams, Eldon and Janet Elgie, both members of the board in the past years, Tyler Inkster, Aaron Emmons, Laura Paul, thank you all for being here tonight to continue to support us and encourage us. Thank you to all our speakers, our youth and young adults. So proud of each of you, and it's been hard for us actually over the last few weeks watching those videos. We've all shared our own tears, just seeing where you started in grade 6 and to where you're going, where you are now and where you're going. Thank you, Aaron and Christine and Kira and Chris, all for sharing as well. Our volunteer crew tonight, who you'd see, many youth that are walking around, Courtney, David, Katie, Shane, AJ, thank you guys all for helping us out tonight. And I just want to say thank you to our Global 180 staff. Kristen, see, I wasn't going to cry till now, but Kristen and Brooker's back there running the entire production of this thing. We don't have any professionals that work with us, except for the Meadowvale Theatre staff, but Brooker has really put together all of the video stuff you've seen tonight and has grown immensely in his skills, forced to have to grow in those skills, I guess. But Kristen, Brooker, and Christian, you guys are all amazing, the absolute best team to work with. Before we close, I'm going to ask Mr. Sharef Sabawi to come. And he surprised me tonight by saying he'd like to come and just greet you and also give us something, apparently. But Mr. Sabawi is the MPP for Mississauga Erin Mills, where we do 180 Fuse and 180 Lift at the Erin Mills Middle School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharef Sabawi. I'm the MPP for Mississauga Erin Mills, and I'm the PA for the Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism. And it happened that I'm IT professor before in my past life. I still teach as part-time, so I deal with youth day in, day out. And I really appreciate the inspiring you do for students and for kids. They need just even some direction, some guidance, and you are doing that great. And I'm very happy that the Trillium Foundation managed to give you some support, and I hope we can work in the future to enlarge this grant support to make sure that you are doing what you're doing and you can scale up. So on my behalf, on behalf of Premier Doug Ford, on behalf of the government, I would like to thank you very much for all the work you're doing, and I wish you all the success, and we are here to support you whenever needed, anytime. And I have a token of appreciation for you, so if you can come.
For sure. Can we hold that for you?
Somebody take a picture.
Good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your hand, first. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming for that. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. I forget which mic I'm using now. Okay. One last thing, Kristen had to make sure you know that we do have a draw tonight for a $200 keg gift card. What do I do? Oh, thanks. So a keg gift card, which any of you would probably love to use. So, so if you wouldn't mind signing up for our mailing list, that's the maybe a little bribe for you to do that. But what we really want to do is make sure we follow up with you as to what happens tonight, what we do with the funds that we raise tonight and throughout the year, and keep you apprised of what we're doing in terms of our expansion. That's really important to us, and that's where the next steps that we want to take. So we'd love for you to be on our mailing list for that reason, and we promise not to harass you. But you can do that by signing up on the second last page of our brochure that we gave you. There's a QR code there. Or see us at the tables in the lobby where you can enter your name and email on paper. If you're already on our mailing list, please still sign up so that you're entered into that draw, okay? All right, so as Chris said, please take a few moments before you leave to say hi to us, talk to any of our board, staff, or youth. We're all wearing these bright green lanyards. You can't miss us. But I do want to say thank you for coming tonight and have a great night.